Hey, fellow babies, and welcome to the show the late, great Queen of England herself once called even better than a quick shag in the throne room. It's the 42 Show.
Oh, Elton John? Welcome to the show. In our full spectrum of news tonight, we got a story we're not going to cover tonight, which is a poor little doggy goes to the vets after eating up an entire bag of Orbeez. Those stupid little the little crafting balls that grow in size or whatever. And whole bag, and then shat them out all over the floor at the vets. So he tasted the rainbow and shat it all out. Poor little doggy.
I guess so. I mean, Jesus Christ. I once said, you want to impress me, shit a fruit salad. I think that's pretty close. So So as the thumbnail said there, we're going to dive right in with just a little review of the Fox faux news, faux interview with Kamala Harris. I don't know if anybody here watched it, but it wasn't an interview, because to interview somebody, you have to actually stop and wait to hear their answers. And that did not happen through this, right? So this was written up by Margaret Sullivan over at The Guardian. She deserves credit for this. So the interview started off with Brett being absolutely combative with questions about immigration, designed less to elicit substantive answers than to prove what a tough guy the Fox host could be. His aggressive approach was kind of understandable in a way, since he had been under pressure for days from the Trump MAGA faithful, and they were convinced he was going to go easy on the nominee for president, maybe even allow her campaign to edit the interviews and so on. Yeah, truly, too. So he came out guns blazing, barely allowing the vice president to finish a sentence before jumping in with objections and arguments. And it was crazy, unbelievable. After 10 minutes of playing immigration gotcha, he pivoted to the obvious next subject, airing a video clip in which Harris expressed support for transgender people in prisons. Okay, cool. Support for them anywhere, but in prison? Sure, okay. He also went immigrant hatred, transphobia, and later Joe Biden's age. He was running through the Fox News greatest hits playlist, basically, right? But she got in her licks, and she definitely had her moments. Chiming in afterwards in what saw as a corporate damage control, Bear's colleagues on Fox News gushed their approval. There was Martha McCallum. She termed his performance masterful, while Dana Pirino analyzed the interview as super good. Oh, super good, man. I can't imagine, though, the writer goes on, that too many viewers agreed, is if they came to it expecting to learn more about Harris's policies or get a true sense of her character, they would have been sadly disappointed, because that wasn't the game plan and that wasn't the result. But Harris accomplished something here. Merely by sitting down with a Fox host, she made a few statements. First is that she's unafraid and is willing to speak to all voters. It's hard to imagine Donald Trump submitting to an interview with, say, Rachel Maddow of NBC. Just this week, he turned away from a CNBC interview and earlier canceled a CBS News 60 Minutes agreement as well. Second, Harris did manage to produce a few snippets of reality to, dedicated Fox viewers who probably hadn't been exposed to some of the most troubling criticisms. She got in like that he's totally unfit to serve, he's unstable, he's dangerous, and how she characterized what millions of Americans are feeling, and that people are totally exhausted by it all. She went on to mention at some length the harsh view of the former commander-in-chief from Mark Milley, who served in 2 top military roles, including chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff during the Trump administration. Milley is called Trump fascist to the core and said that no one has ever been as dangerous to the United States as Donald Trump. Right? And so maybe just getting a few of these keywords out, so to speak, will help with what's called like a Google strategy, where you just try to get a few blips in that might make a few of them look it up. and actually find some real information instead of rhetoric, right? Now, the regular Fox viewers for sure had their minds made up. They're sticking with Trump. No matter his mental decline, no matter his felony convictions, no matter the threats he makes or the threats he poses. But there may still be a small percentage of the millions who tuned in who, despite all the noise and interruptions, managed to hear a reasonable, intelligent, and stable alternative to Trump. Maybe some of them live in the key swing state of Pennsylvania, where the interviewer was recorded, or in Wisconsin or Michigan. And even that tiny adjustment could make all the difference. And again, that was written by Margaret Sullivan at The Guardian. So, nice read. I like that very much. And I agree. But man, it wasn't an interview.
It's kind of ironic. Yeah, it's kind of ironic that she didn't get a chance to answer questions, and yet Trump was interviewed by an economist, and every time Trump just refused to answer any of the questions.
Yeah,
just completely diverted.
Yeah, just talk about whatever he felt like at the moment.
Yeah.
But I hope people are paying attention, because I think that served to show that if you're getting your primary news from Fox, are you getting news or are you getting editorial? Big difference. Yeah. So where do you want to start here?
I don't know. Have we got time?
What?
We have a shocking story, shocking incident in Kentucky. Thomas T.J. Hoover, the second, 36, who had been declared brain dead after a drug overdose, reportedly came back to life on the operating table just as the doctors were preparing to remove his organs for donation.
Holy
It brings to mind a certain Monty Python sketch.
Yeah,
but the incident took place.
Live organ transplants.
The incident took place at the Baptist Health Richmond Hospital in October 2021, and has since raised ethical concerns and triggered investigations by both the Kentucky Attorney General and the U.S. Health Services Resources Administration. Hoover's sister, Donna Rora, became concerned when she noticed Hoover opening his eyes as he was being moved from the ICU to the operating room. Medical staff initially dismissed the move and says that's just reflexes common in brain dead patients. However, as the surgeons were about to assess Hoover's heart for transportation, witnesses reported that he began thrashing, moving, and visibly crying.
Holy!
So, as you can imagine, the procedure was halted, thankfully, but the event caused significant distress amongst the medical team, with several employees seeking therapy afterwards. And whistleblowers who were involved in the case have come forward to describe the emotional toll and ethical dilemma they faced.
They almost killed him. They almost tore him apart.
They didn't kill him. They were just taking him bit by bit. So that song about the guy who bought who built his car, just by stealing a bit by bit. Code of the organisation that coordinated the transplant denied the accusations. It's all blowing up within the medical societies and associations and practices and all that kind of stuff. They're all having this big fucking argument about it. But they were saying, while organ procurement advocates acknowledge the gravity of the situation, they argue that such cases are extremely rare and should not undermine public trust in organ donation.
Monty Python predicted this, man. Come on, you signed the back of your license. Give us your liver. I know.
I'm not dead yet.
You're not fooling
anybody. That's mad. It's mad, crazy. Yeah, wow. I'm not gonna bother carrying on. But yeah, Hoover basically survived and struggled with memory, speech, and mobility issues after the incident. I'm not too sure why. What did they take out and not put back in? I don't know.
What if the guy died of an overdose, or they thought he died of an overdose? So I would imagine it wasn't exactly his first time using. So how good would his organs have actually been? And what if he actually got other organs back instead, and maybe he's in better health now?
They're just Took him out, scrubbed him up, put him back in again.
Yeah, it's South Park. I'm sorry, sir, but we accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato. You have 3 seconds to live. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, be careful where you die.
Or make sure you're dead.
Yeah. Okay, so Tesla. Things have been going so well for Tesla lately. The sales are down, profits are down. They're being led by a moron. And what happened? Holy, has it hit the fan. The U.S. National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, NHTSA, we'll call them from now on if I can even remember the damn acronym, said it was opening an investigation into 2.4 million Tesla vehicles, that's all of them on the road in America, that have the full self-driving. So there are a few older ones that can't get full self-driving. So that's not these cars, because they just had 4 recent collisions, including a fatal crash. The U.S. Auto Safety Regulator said it was opening a preliminary investigation after the 4 reports where full self-driving was engaged during reduced roadway visibility like sun glare, fog, or airborne dust. I want to get back to that. In one crash, the Tesla vehicle fatally struck a pedestrian. In one additional crash in these conditions involved a reported injury. The probe covers 26 to 24 Model S's and X's, 2017 to 24 Model 3s, 2020 to 2024 Model Ys, and 23 to 24 Cybertrucks. So like I say, all of them. This is the first step before the agency can seek to demand a recall of the vehicles if they believe they pose an unreasonable risk to safety. Tesla says in its website, full self-driving is meant for driver supervision and it does not make them autonomous. So what? It's reviewing the ability of FSD's engineering controls to detect and respond appropriately in reduced roadway visibility conditions. Again, this is the big deal here. Because what's going on is Tesla, unlike all the other self-drive cars and whatnot on the road, has gone with a camera-only solution. So there's no LiDAR.
Just literally just vision.
Yeah, it's just vision. There's no LiDAR, there's no radar, anything. And all their competitors are using those other devices, sensors, if you will. And Tesla is now facing a National Highway Transport inquiry that could realistically force Tesla to take full self-drive off the cars permanently because it's not good enough. This is the same technology that Tesla just announced will be used for their robo-taxis. And their robo-taxis are supposed to be the big save that pushes Tesla forward. Now, does anybody beside me see a problem here? I think what's happening is the government has caught on to the fact that Tesla cheaped out in a big way and they're overambitious in the software engineering that they could do with the camera image, and it's starting to fail more and more. It's not looking good for Tesla right now because there's nothing they can do except for either retrofit the old cars with more sensors or just say sorry, and then they're going to get hit with false advertising lawsuits and stuff. It's going to be nasty. There's a lot of shit coming Elon's way now, man. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that they do like build a car that is just working, purely on a vision, basis, to help it in air and driving conditions where visibility is low. Not think that might affect the cameras in some way.
I know, right? It's so. If I was the government, I would pretty much instantly say, okay, first and foremost here, we are making it so that in any sort of bad weather at all, it's not legal to use. I mean, oh my gosh, right? It's bad.
It's raining, it's snowing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad if you're grounded. Your car's grounded because it's a bit of rain outside. Whereas everybody else, it's like, okay.
I wanted to get milk, but it's foggy. Oh man. So yeah, good going, Elon again. Way to push the. Oh man, what a dork. Okay, but maybe he's not quite as an oddball as your next story is.
I don't know. They don't call him three penis Musk for nothing because yes, that's right. A man from Birmingham has been the only the second ever person on record to have three penises.
He's his own threesome.
The 78-year-old man donated his body to the University of Birmingham Medical Society. I hope he was dead.
He doesn't even have enough chance to jerk off properly.
The man went through his entire life without realizing he had not just one, but three penises. Well, I'm sure he knew he had one. Come on. Doctors at the medical school said that one in every 5 or 6 million people are born with more than one penis. So everybody check your pants.
But how could you not know? It's just...
Well, this is it's bizarre. There have been just over 100 cases of diaphalia, they call it, of having two penises recorded across the world. Now the now dead 78-year-old is just the second person in history on record to have triphalia, with three penises. Doctors found that just one of the three penises were functional. However, the other two attached within the skin of the scrotal sac. So there was like buried inside of him somehow. So he didn't
like the dude in Total Recall in the guy's guts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
Start the reactor, free Mars.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that earlier, and I've forgotten his bloody name now. But the man was about 6 foot tall to medium large build, and on first examination looked to have normal genitalia. Well, for a 78-year-old, I suppose. But the dissection revealed two small supernumerary penises. I've got one of those.
Wow.
The primary and secondary penises shared a urethra, which coursed through the secondary penis prior to its passage through to the primary penis.
Doesn't mean he would have little Sprigget streams when he goes piss, and he'd be like, "Why do I leak every time?"
Yeah, my wife keeps complaining I'm missing the toilet bowl.
From? Yeah.
Like a little sprinkler system. Hey, granddad, go and lie on the lawn and do that trick.
Yeah, they just put him outside all drunk and nude and spin him around.
But they say polyphalia, having multiple penises, is likely to be more common than realized.
Did you say polyphalia?
Polyphalia.
Okay, because So wasn't that a model produced by Volkswagen for a few years?
I think I went out with a girl called Polyphalia, but that's besides the point. But there is a second part to this story because while the dude was alive, he could have met up with this chick, Annie Charlotte, who has two vaginas. And doesn't she look like it? But it doesn't.
Doesn't she realize that she poops through one of them?
I think one of her vaginas in her mouth. But it doesn't impact her sex life much because 99% of men don't realize. The 26-year-old discovered that she had two vaginas when she was 16, and she was getting a form of birth control that gets inserted inside her, and the doctor diagnosed her with uterus whatever, a condition meaning that she has two uteruses, two cervixes, and two vaginas. When she was diagnosed, she was concerned that having two vaginas would make. When diagnosed, she was concerned that having two vaginas would make sexual relationships harder. But it has been difficult to get basic medical treatment. Her sex life has never been a problem. And she says, I've slept with hundreds of men, and 99.9% don't realize I have two vaginas. None of them ever know. She's 26 and she slept with hundreds of men. What is she, a fucking sex worker?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what do you like? You dirty tart. Honest to God. No, what do you got two vaginas? The other one has to rest.
That's the whole thing. It's hundreds because every time she wants to sleep with somebody, she needs two partners, right? So I mean, right there, the number climbs quickly,
I think the actual story is she didn't have two vaginas, just her ex-boyfriend was a bit of a I meant to say her ex-boyfriend was a bit of a
yeah.
And I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit dirty.
Yeah, okay, that one. Never mind. Let's get back to the real world, please, Mr. Dawson.
Well, I don't know if this is the real world, but it's the election. So, according to a new House Oversight Committee report that accuses Donald Trump of fleecing taxpayers and exploiting the presidency, former President Trump charged Secret Service agents who were staying at his hotel while protecting him far more than the hotel charged private patrons. I shit you not. The report says Trump turned the U.S. Secret Service into an ATM for his personal enrichment by charging the agency, in at least one case, more than 5 times the rate approved by the government. Amazingly, that same night, the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. rented out more than 200 rooms to private parties at just $125 or $170 each. The report goes on to say that at least 5 people who received pardons from Trump, as well as 4 federal judges who Trump nominated, were later given lifetime appointments, also stayed at the hotel. Our report also details startling instances in which state and federal officials, as well as individuals actively seeking federal jobs and presidential pardons, use the D.C. hotel as a channel to put money into the commander-in-chief's pocket. And that's Rep. Jamie Raskin. Yeah. That's serious charges. Right? Basically, what he does is you go and stay at the hotel, you pay the fee that he tells you to pay, and that's how you pay him off to get what you want. Lord Thunder and Jesus. Yeah. And that's the same grift with these watches and stuff and whatnot. This is how it works, right? It's unbelievable, but it's true, right? And there was one other little clip here. Trump has been campaigning towards some of the labor groups like auto unions, auto workers and whatnot. And so Harris had a little jab in a speech yesterday. Make no mistake, Donald Trump is no friend of labor. He encouraged automakers to move their plants out of Michigan so he could then, or they could pay their workers less. Understand what that was about, so that they could pay their workers less. And when the UAW went on strike to demand the higher wages were deserved, Trump went to a non-union shop and did a speech attacking the UAW. And he said, striking and collective bargaining don't make a damn bit of sense. So Harris went on to say, strong unions mean higher wages, better health care, and greater dignity for union members and for everyone. Whether or not you are part of a union, get that straight, because it's true. I thought that was a great little clip. He's about to get, indicted again, and she's talking about doing well for people. As somebody who worked in the auto industry for like a year and a half when I was 18 years old, I knew right away that I was overpaid for the job I did. And I'm not sure that auto worker, except for some of the more dangerous-y things, using the big crane or assembly or whatever, there's a lot of jobs that don't need to be as high paid as they are. But the people of North America decided that was a job that you could get and work at for your life and afford to get a house, take care of your family and the whole bit. So that's one of the reasons why cars are unbelievably expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but there is this kind of odd balance between high wages in the motor industry and the decline of the motor industry and all that kind of stuff. But you still have the right to decent wages to at least demolish the industry from the inside.
And I totally approve of unions because you can get around bad bosses. But when unions get too greedy and then all the costs go up as well, just because everybody wants more, then it gets a little bit. But that's not here nor there for this show. So
yeah.
Let's see here.
We know?
Yeah. So let's see here. Oh, this is a cool one that you got.
Yes, for a change, I thought I'd bring you a nice, pleasant, uplifting story.
Yeah.
And this is a story that's been 20 years in development. But a guy called Helio da Silva, who planted astonishing 40,000 trees along a stretch of derelict land in Sao Paulo in Brazil over a period of 20 years. And he's transformed it into a park. Look at it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
3.2 kilometers long, 100-meter wide stretch of land is now a beautiful urban jungle. The once neglected riverbanks used to be a haunt for drug users, and now people, run alongside thousands of flourishing trees made up of 160 species. Ex-food industry executive Helio started to transform the land in 2003 after he walked through what he says was an abandoned, degraded, dirty area with his wife, Lida, also a dirty, degraded, abandoned woman. But he decided change was necessary, and not his wife. No, he began planting trees without permission from the authorities, using his own money, spending cash on plant cuttings that he then nurtured into the towering trees. Helio, 73, estimate he spent around $7,000 per year on the park, which, to be fair, isn't a lot of money for that result. That's not bad. But officials in Sao Paulo, which is Brazil's most popular city, eventually recognized Helio's work and designated the land the first official linear park in the city in 2008. So the authorities got behind it, and they've installed a playground, football field, benches, an amphitheater, bike lanes, toilets, and gym equipment. Oh, put toilets in the park. No, that's not a good idea.
He single-handedly created Central Park. So, yeah, get some amenities in there, right? Yeah. I mean, holy, you know?
Yeah, but around 45 species of birds have been documented fluttering through the tree canopies. And, thanks to his 12 trees that are fruit-bearing, he's thought about it. He's put some effort in. He hasn't just plonked some trees down. He's created an absolutely fantastic environment. Yeah. And the park also prevents the erosion of the riverbanks. Yeah. Lowers the temperature of Sao Paulo's concrete urban center and improves air quality. Does everything. Everything is just, it's trees. What do you expect? It's fantastic. People used to called him crazy. No, look at it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to an overhead. That is flipping awesome.
Yeah. Can you imagine what it would have been like without that green there? Just been concrete desert.
Yeah, just would have been nasty, right? Absolutely. I've got a funny one here. So let's see. We picked on Tesla because, they're about to have their ass handed to them by the Transport Safety Authority. So why don't we switch over and pick on Tesla? They released that flashy video of their Optimus humanoid robot in action, right? And it was wandering the factory halls, picking up boxes, climbing stairs, pouring drinks at the bar, blah, blah. But a couple of people over at Gizmodo took a lot of the footage and had a close look at it and realized that it has committed the cardinal sin of being sped up. And a lot of it is sped up. Yeah, to the point of insanity. So here, I've got the video up here. This is it actually in real speed, picking up a tray of something, and it turns around and it kind of walks towards the thing. Look at this. I mean, at this point, you'd be like, if that's how fast you move, you're fired. You couldn't move that slow at McDonald's. They'd kick your ass out the door right away, right? Now, they also got called out a little bit in this same article because they had to cheat big time to make their robots look good. Whereas this company here, it's put up by a site called Figure, so I'm not really sure. But watch this one move to hand this person the apple.
Oh, yes.
That's how it's done. See that? Now the guy puts a couple things down, and I think he gives the robot an instruction here or something. I wonder if I have to yeah, here. And then the robot just simply picks the stuff up, puts it away. You see that? Now let me go back one again, and let me show you this one of the Tesla bot just simply picking something up off the table and trying to get it to look. It looks hopeless. And this is for a demonstration. You pick the best thing it can do for demonstration. So this is the best the Tesla bot can do at this point. I hate
to tell you, but Tesla sent me that footage, and I'm the one responsible for painting out all the puppeteers in the background to control the robot.
That I wouldn't doubt at all. Hey, we got a great shout out to do here. Rick the Ukrainian. The guy who could stream 27 hours in one day. I don't know how, but he can do it. Keep being awesome, guys. Thank you for all the support for Ukraine, and keep being the voice of the captives. Oh, we will always do our best, brother Rick. And
Rest.
Yeah, man, what the hell just happened to me there? But thanks, brother Rick. Thanks for the shout out. Awesome. Very cool. And yes, we will continue to do our best. But yeah,
or breast, or both.
The difference in those robots was absolutely staggering. And this is another one of those situations where, just like Musk and his camera only solution to things, I think he's forced the engineers into a situation where they don't have things as right as they should, and they're nowhere near their competitors. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it's early days yet, though.
Yeah,
early days.
Oh yeah. But well, he says he'll have them on the market for 26. Yeah. So
yeah, they'll be on the market, but no one will want them.
Yeah, they'll be like toys, like BB-8 and R2D2, right? No.
Yeah.
So what's this?
Oh, it's a big fat balloon, and Sir Richard Branson will co-pilot a hydrogen space balloon that will float a small group of high-paying passengers higher than the stratosphere than any commercial balloon has gone before, with the addition of cocktails and a fine dining on board. The Virgin Galactic founder will be at the helm of the spaceship Neptune. Not a spaceship, it's a balloon. But it will take him and 7 others passengers 20 miles above the Earth, with each passenger paying $125,000 for the ride. So there we go. We got a fundraiser coming up after the show to send Dick up in a balloon.
Like fucking hell.
He's sitting in there just like watching it pop. Oh no.
Oh, God,
but anyway,
no.
The capsule was designed by Space Perspective, and it features a window-filled cabin, plush chairs, fine dining, cocktails, and an onboard Wi-Fi. Because that's what you need to do, is to get onto Facebook while you're on in a
look at me.
The lounge is also like a proper bathroom, dubbed the Space Spa, according to the company website. Okay, you can float around the Earth and have a bath. Brilliant. But the total trip time is 6 hours, and of those 2 hours will be used to ascend to the maximum height, and another 2 hours to come back down again.
$425,000.
I know. How much was Bezos' thing? I think that was about the same. No, it was like $1 million, wasn't it? But the passengers don't need to worry about being, as physically fit as astronauts because, you're just sitting on a
They're
balloon,
rich gits and they won't be.
Bro, here's the kicker. More than 1,800 people have already reserved seats on the commercial vehicle, which has completed its first successful test flight just last month. 1,800 people have already paid. Well, on the hook for paying 125,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. We're in the wrong business. We shouldn't be doing YouTube. We should be making balloons.
Sending people to their deaths in space.
in matter of minutes.
Yeah, 6 hours, payday, done. I like it. That's what we'll do. What do we got?
I do love how this article does say that the Australian billionaire will be joined on the trip by the company's founders, Tabor McCallum and Jane Pointer. The Australian billionaire they're referring to is Richard Branson, who was born in Blackheath, London. Yeah. So I'm not too sure who the fuck wrote this article.
And Branson is one of those guys who puts his virgin name on anything he can for as cheap as possible. And more often than not, the things never follow through and get truly done. He just wants to be in front of the camera.
Oh, this isn't a virgin thing, though. This is somebody else.
Oh, okay.
He's just getting to fly it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's stupid just because he's in. I can't stand that guy. He makes me sick. He's just God, look at me. I'm so cool. Okay, here.
You just hate tubular bells.
Yeah. Real quick before we're done, South Korea's spy agency has confirmed that North Korea dispatched troops to support Russia's war in Ukraine. They transferred 1,500 North Korean special operation forces to the Russian port of Vladivostok. And they're expecting this to actually be around 12,000 troops in total. We will go into this definitely more tomorrow on the Ukraine update show, but South Korea has released some spy satellite pictures of Russian ships picking them up and stuff and the whole bit. There is absolutely no doubt about it if you ever thought there was. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Kim Jong-un, get on your knees. Seriously. If anybody ever needed a circle jerking, it's that guy. We better get out of here. We've got an after show.
Got a super chat.
Oh, we got a super chat? Oh. I'll pay to get Dick up there. Oh, that's Nick Suter's super chat from in time, on time, downtime, up time, and your time, baby. Thanks, Nick. I don't do heights. There's no way I'm going up in some asshole's balloon. Not happening. No way.
We'll send you underground then.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't like that either. I just like to be a regular human being that does human being things. I don't need to be a mole. Don't need to be a bird. Just, I'm good.
Just a dick.
Yeah, so we got an after show coming up in minutes. If you stay to the end of the credits, you'll get the redirect, and we've got a link that'll get dropped into the live chat here. Maybe if somebody will figure it out. We'll do thanks to everybody in the credits, and thanks to all our supporters and Ukraine supporters, and cool. After show time. And a big thanks to our team who do everything in the background to help us out, organize and research and moderate, and it's so much you would have no idea. We got Annette who runs the teams. We got PJ CNET running the newsroom, Shayna Caldwell, Chris Lundy, and Super Chat Matt. So thanks everybody, because holy God, would we look like idiots without you.
And somehow we managed to look like idiots anyway. But thank you very much everybody for coming. All the super chats, donations, and channel memberships and stuff. to keep the financial side of the things just ticking along so we can get better and better and better. Don't forget to hit like on the way out. I'm going to do that right now, so you just can do it for this time. Share us out on social media. Go up in a big fucking balloon and shout out to Shills. The Shills are the greatest, and no one will hear you because you're 20 miles up, but never mind. You just do it on Facebook or something, on social media. Do that anyway. We'll see you in the after show, everybody. Yeah.
And remember, fellow babies, duct tape makes terrible condoms, so use the real thing. See you in a minute.